Welcome, guys. This is Mr. Setness. Filling in for these notes here. Hope you're all at home healthy and safe. This is kind of weird, I know, but we'll get through it. This is from Tuesday, March 10th. This is when we went over OPEC and the global impact of oil on the economy. So, what is OPEC? OPEC is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. What that organization does is essentially regulate the price of oil worldwide. It makes sure one country in OPEC doesn't control oil prices or make it a monopoly, which is they would control everything. And that small group includes Algeria, Angola, Ecuador, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Venezuela. Oil is a non-renewable resource, which means you can't use it again after you've used it once. So it's you can't recycle it. So like plastic is renewable, oil is a non-renewable, and that falls into what we would call GDP. It's a huge impact on GDP. It's the gross domestic product, and it's the amount of stuff that a country makes per year per person, and that's used to compare the economies of different countries. The United States has a higher GDP than Venezuela, for example, because the United States has a bigger population and also exports, meaning sends out more goods, more stuff for everyone else in the world to use than Venezuela would. Oil is found in large amounts in the Persian Gulf. See, here's the Persian Gulf. And countries bordering the Persian Gulf tend to have stronger economies based around oil. It's their geographic location. It's a natural resource. Kuwait, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. Right there. Their economies are based heavily on oil, and that's, again, just based off their geographic location because they're bordering the Persian Gulf. The United States primarily gets its oil from itself. 40% of the oil comes from the United States, but it's not just used in gasoline. It's also used for products such as your laptops or your desks, other goods like that. Followed by Canada, the Middle East, which is those countries bordering the Persian Gulf, Mexico, Venezuela, and Africa. So the United States, you also have to remember, exports oil too. So we send oil to other countries as well. They buy oil from us. We don't just use it all for ourselves. And we don't just use it all for gasoline, like for our cars or our planes or our trains and automobiles and all that kind of stuff. Get the same amount of oil from the Persian Gulf as it does from Africa, United States. And it also gets the largest percentage of oil from the United States. Most of our oil comes from us. And however, that's not to say that we don't get oil from countries all around the world. We get most of our oil that we bring in from Canada. It makes sense because they're immediately to our north, followed by Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, Iraq, Ecuador, Kuwait, Brazil, and Angola. As you can see, the price, we went over how the price of a barrel of oil plummeted. 2015 here, we talked about how the EU, the euro lost value, so the price of oil went down. And we talked about how the coronavirus has affected travel because no one's traveling, therefore no one's buying oil. Because what do we use to travel? Planes, trains, cars. And so these things, remember how I said they go? Well, if they can't go and if people aren't going to travel, then no one's going to buy it. April 2011, it was up to 130.68 per barrel, and now it's just 31.13 per barrel. Again, you have to look at the economies were different, and there was not a coronavirus in 2011. So that is how oil is impacted. And so what happens to a country if their economy is based off of oil? It's a boom and bust, meaning it can be really good or really bad just because of oil. It's non-renewable, so if you run out of oil, you got to have a backup plan. If you don't have a backup plan, then you might be in a little bit more trouble down the road. And it has an impact on the price that we pay at the pump, because if it's cheaper, you're going to get more of it.